What is up, everyone? DPX here reviewing today Castlevania Nocturne. Now, before I get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will turn you into a vampire. So, Castlevania Nocturne is a spin-off of the Castlevania Netflix show, which I really liked. And if I'm going to be honest, I kind of binged it all at once before the final season, and then the final season came out. So I kind of saw it all at once, but you know. I did really enjoy it. So I'm also a big fan of the Castlevania games. I'm not too familiar with the lore with the games, and these shows dive more into that. But I really enjoyed the original series, and this is like way further on into the timeline. You know, this follows Richter Belmont. So it's based on the story of Rondo of Blood and a bit of Symphony of the Night, and I gotta say I really enjoyed it. Of course, gotta get the obvious stuff out of the way. The animation is amazing. Netflix has honestly killed it with their animation, especially with, you know, even with what you see they got coming up with that Drop 01 showcase. You know, Devil May Cry and Captain Laserhawk and Tomb Raider. You know, those look like they're all joining the fray. This joins the fray as well. The animation here is amazing looking. Also, the music score, of course. Castlevania has always had great music, so it only makes sense to translate that into the show. And there are some times where you hear bloodlines, and it's amazing. One thing I do really like is the cast of characters here, and how it manages to balance all of them. You know, you have Richter. You know, we all know Richter. He's in the show, and he's the main character, but he's not like the sole focus. You know, the show definitely focuses on him more than any other character. But the plot is kind of straightforward in the sense that it's there's a big threat. We need to stop the big threat. You know, that is more or less what it is, really. And Richter, we get to know a lot about him, but, you know, I don't think there's enough for him, enough to him is what I'm trying to say, for an entire season. So there's other characters in here. You know, you got Maria and you have Annette. They're all here, and it doesn't feel like, you know, the show's trying to juggle between what character should we focus on. It seems more like, you know, it kind of seems natural. It kind of seems like, you know, we get to learn about Richter, now we get to learn about Maria, now we get to learn about Annette, now we get to learn more about Richter, and I think it's very interesting. Similarly, there's a lot of villains, but the show manages to balance all the villains. The main villain, I'll say, and the one that I think left the best impact, was probably Allrox. Crazy thing is, you see what he does at the beginning of the show, and you just want... You're rooting for him to die. You want him to get fucking... You want him to get torn in half, but then throughout the show, you kind of I don't know if I want to get into spoilers, but it starts to become okay, maybe I don't quite want to see. I do still kind of want to see him get fucked up, but it's, I don't know. He's a bit three-dimensional. You see, he's kind of a little gray, if you know what I mean. And I was not expecting that. I want to touch on Annette, by the way, because I don't, the internet kind of sucks, because I saw that it was a big thing that how the user reviews are really low for the show, which I'm surprised by that. The user reviews are really low, and I feel like user reviews are they could be a little iffy sometimes, you know what I mean? And yeah, I saw all this woke shit. I'm like, get this out of my fucking face. But that's bound to happen if they do what they did with Annette. Annette was in the game, she was this blonde bombshell girlfriend of Richter, and now they completely changed her character, and she was born her mother was a slave. No, they changed her race, so she's black now, and her mother was a slave, and then she was born a slave. but then she became free. So I think that's very interesting. You know, I found it a little interesting that like they completely changed her character, but I think this is actually, you know, it gave dimensions to her character that I didn't think was, you know, I didn't expect. I wouldn't really say that the way I look at it, I wouldn't say this is the same Annette from the games. This is a different character that happens to also be named Annette, and will probably, like, we don't really see them become an item, but will probably be Richter's girlfriend in the show. But, like, I really like what they did with her. And there's also a bit of a theme of slavery throughout this season, and kind of in subtle ways, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to get into specifics, because that kind of gets into spoilers, but, like, maybe watch the show and you'll see what I mean. And my god, that final scene was so cool. That was, like, it's like, holy shit, that was awesome. I don't want to say it, but, like, you know, if you know, you know. As for some issues I had, there is one episode. The episode that actually focuses a lot on Annette. It was mainly just a flashback episode, which I don't entirely have a problem with that. This is more of like a mixed thing. It did kind of like, it was a little odd that was an entire episode, basically. Other things, there is a character that we see come back, or not really come back, but like a character from the games that we see show up, and you know, it's pretty cool to see them. And there's like 2 entire episodes where like we get to know them quite a bit, and then they just don't show back up, which I found very bizarre. And lastly, you know, I said that the show, we got to know Richter quite a bit. We got to know Annette quite a bit. The reason why I didn't really talk about Maria is because we didn't really get to know her that much. We do find out stuff about her, but it wasn't really, like, about her necessarily. Like, it has to do with her, but we don't find it out. Like, it's not a reveal concerning her necessarily. It just has to involve her. Like, there is this one big reveal that involves her, but it's not, like, a big moment for her necessarily, or at least the show doesn't treat it that way. You know, based on how this ended, I feel like we're gonna see, like, it's gonna focus a bit more on Maria, at least more than it did this season. But I just feel like, you know, not that it sidelined her. I think, you know, she was used pretty fine, but at the same time, I feel like they could have done a bit more with her. That's all I got on Castlevania Nocturne. I really enjoyed the show. It's more like, this is the first season. I feel like this is like a foundation, laying the groundwork for the rest of this spin-off series. So it's more, I want to see more of it. You know, I didn't mention that until now, but like, this season didn't feel like setup necessarily, but it is setting stuff up, and I'm more excited to see what it was that this show was setting up. I'm really excited to see that. But in the end, I'm going to give Castlevania Nocturne an 8.5 out of 10. That's my review on Castlevania Nocturne. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the show, not like the show? Have you guys seen the show, not seen the show? And anything about the show, do you guys want to see it, not want to see it? Anything about the show, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, or I will turn you into a vampire. Bye!